Okay, I'll make a quick video. Do I like it? Yes, I do like it. You can't beat it for the price. You're not going to get it anywhere. It came with some blemishes, as a lot of people say. Boxes come a little dinged. There's 3, maybe 4 boxes, I can't remember. Yes, the material is light, but not when you add it all together. They're pretty heavy each. I'd say probably at least 80 pounds each. The worst part was this door panel here, this half door panel thing here, a couple there. But other than that, it was pretty good. The company's actually going to send me a replacement door, so they're really awesome about that. It is pretty solid. It's very flimsy for each panels and stuff, but I mean every metal shed is going to be like that until you get it all together. Then it'll be nice and sturdy. Quickly, things to remember, to let you know, holes do line up. The people that are complaining about that did not put it together correctly. They probably had these panels flipped the opposite way, and or these brackets were wrong. Very easy to do, to have this bracket facing the wrong way. Big deal, the way to figure it out is on the corner here, the top one is going to be a bigger hole, so the screw goes through it and doesn't catch. It catches on this one here, okay, on these corners. So if you have a bigger hole on the end and it's on the very end, that's it. And then you got the small hole here for the one that goes underneath. Let's see here. You are not going to see, you see, there's not a screw in every panel. There's only 3 in each panel. This here, make sure you have this correctly down, because it'll work the upside down also just as well, but the only problem is you won't be able to put this screw down here to lock these corners in to make it very rigid, and it does make it much more rigid. Basically it's this up on the top part, how the screw goes down and holds these 2 fixtures together. All right, so that's one. These screws here I would leave loose, and these 2 here on each end leave loose, because it gives a little bit of flex for whenever you're putting your roof on, to help line up the holes. Because the holes are there. Sometimes you got to angle the screw at an angle a little bit, or maybe like kind of force the panel a little bit. But they are there. They're within, you know, a few centimeters of that hole. So I was pretty happy with that. This is confusing. This is what it looks like on the inside. The picture, from the angle of the picture, looks like this bracket is going this way or this way. It's not 3-dimensionally correct in the picture. So that's what it actually looks like. It took me a while to figure it out, and I realized like that makes more sense there. Now when you do this, make sure you go back and tighten those down when you're done now. Another part that was kind of difficult is right here. And you got that point, you got a middle one, and then you got a side one. This middle one where it overlaps these 2, and you got these 2 bolts. Very difficult to get the screw through 3 different panels and have that hole line up, especially this here, because when you push them over, this one wants to be wider, and you can see how it's gapped. So you got to try to push it together to get the screw in. Very hard with one person. Other than that, I did pretty much everything myself. It took me a day and a half. If I had 2 people doing it, it could have been done in a day very easily. I mean, I could have even done it a day if I pushed myself, but it was getting a little late. The only place, now people said they had to retap their own screws. The only place that I had to retap was at the very end of when I got to the end, I put in, and now you can put this anywhere, I put mine towards the back. There's 4, I got 2 here and 2 here. Just because when I got to the end, it was just off too much right there. I mean, the holes are there, but you see, I could have maybe made it work, but it was just a pain. I could have made that work. I could have squeezed that over. Right here too, see how the hole's right off. You know what, I could have made that work, but I put 4 in. So not a big deal. Now this, it's still light. I mean, I can still move this whole thing. Now you're asking why I didn't, when I put the frame down first, why I didn't sink concrete bits in and anchor them down. It's because I wanted to have the flexibility of this. If I didn't want to make it take, I didn't want to permanently put it down and find out it wasn't perfectly straight, or I had to, a perfect box or square, I mean, and I didn't have, or I just need to shimmy something just a little bit because maybe, maybe the holes might have been off just a little bit from the fabrication, from the manufacturing. So I left it loose. It's going to be very easy. What I'm going to do now is I'll make sure I'll go around, make sure it's straight. I'll put a Sharpie in each hole, and then I'll just push it a few inches like this way, and then I'll just go and drill the holes into the concrete, put my anchors in there, and then slide it back over and put it down. That's how I'm going to do it. Because this thing is, I mean, I can push it around. 2 people easily can. Other than that, I am very happy with it. It is very solid. Company's really good. Within a day, they got back to me and said they're going to send me a new door. So happy with that. But look, I mean, it's solid. Weakest part is the plastic roof. I would ask them to send you another 2 panels called, and I would just say, ask them like if you could purchase 2 more P7s. All right, that's the same size panel as this plastic. That way you can either not use it, or I'm still going to use it. I mean, this will last. It's strong. I mean, it's weak. I'm not underneath any trees. If I had if I was under trees, I'd be maybe concerned about this. I do live in Florida. I don't think it's going to last too long in Florida. I'd be happy if it lasted 3 or 4 years without it just degrading. But that's why I'm gonna see if I can order 2 more P7 pieces, and just stick it in the corner, and then whenever it does fail, I can just, and that's another reason why I put the window on the last 2, because I can get in a ladder and easily go over there, take off the bolts, and slide in another one. It's very easy. Other than that, I would recommend putting screws in every one of these, just since this is a little more flimsy. On the regular ones, it's only 3. It's like 1, 2, you skip 1, and a 3rd one. And that's perfectly fine. It's so strong. But with this here, I would definitely sink one in all 4. I think that should cover everything. Again, I'm very happy. I'm trying to think if there's any other little things I could tell you that hiccups that I came up with that made it difficult. Just make sure these are going the right direction. That's where you're gonna fall in place, because they can look like they can go both ways. But there's gonna be little holes, one here, and then one here. There might be one also in the middle here somewhere. I'm not sure. See right there, the little hole? There'll be 2 little holes on the ends. If there's not holes in the ends, then they're not gonna they shouldn't be going up here. All right, hope I helped anybody out with a few of the hiccups I had. This bracket here, make sure, see how it's an L? I had it going this way because there's a shelf up here, and it looks like you could go onto that shelf. I did that, and then I started putting up the roof, and I realized I had to take it off, and it was a pain. I was by myself, and it was difficult. The reason why you need it is because, again, in the corner, these 2 pieces overlap, and there's a screw that goes through that holds this, and it makes a big difference. I mean, I could have lived without it probably. If I lived up north, I wouldn't have worried about it. But being I live in Florida, high winds are here a lot. I wanted to make sure it's secure. So I flipped it back around and made sure it hooked right there. So make sure, because that one was a hard one to tell in the picture too, which direction it went.